Oh. Hello, everybody. All right. We've got one person in. Hope everybody's okay. 2 people in. We'll wait see if a few more come in before we kick off. Just drop a comment in so we know who we're chatting with and who we've got in on the stream. Can anyone hear me okay? Everyone that's in? Yeah? I've got a new mic, so it's I hope it's working okay. Like I said, just let us know who's watching, just so we're who I'm chatting to. If it's people that's dropped in on the stream before or any friends of the channel, just so I know who I'm talking to. Just makes it a bit easier. Picture doesn't seem the best tonight. I don't actually know what's going on. Hello, Mark. Yeah, no, that's cool, mate. That's brilliant. If you're going to listen to us in the background, that's fantastic. You can listen to my rambling nonsense again as normal. Like I said, I'll just give it another minute just to see if we get anybody else in. Then if we don't get anybody else in, then I'll just start going through this big stack that I've got here. Again, some of it's this stack I'm going to be going through. Some of it's stuff that I forgot to talk about last time. That's in my collection. Some stuff that has just come in recently. So there's a good few to go through. It's probably about a dozen or so. Not all of it brilliant. Some of it's absolute garbage, but it all falls in within the category. Any of you guys picked anything up recently? Put anything new into your collections? This picture is terrible tonight. I don't know if that's a lighting problem or... Let's have a look. It's a little bit better. Try to take some of the natural light out. That's a bit better. We'll try that. We'll go with that. If the picture's not looking much better a bit, I'll try stopping the stream, restarting it again. There's obviously a technical issue in my end. But here we go. We're back again. Another live stream for a Sunday afternoon, or Sunday evening is now in the UK. I hope everyone's doing okay. Like I said before, bit of a stack here, probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 titles that we'll have a look through on this stream. Again, some sword and sorcery, excuse me, some high fantasy stuff, some just normal fantasy stuff, and some stuff that is purely crap. But we'll have a look at it anyway. Again, it was some stuff that I forgot to show last time. It had just been loitering in my collection, and I hadn't pulled it out. And some stuff is new in. Couple of them titles, I'm really chuffed that I've managed to grab hold of. One in general, especially. You just do not come across it, and I've paid top dollar for a copy, but I suppose it's if you want it, then you've got to pay for it. There's no other alternative. What I'm going to do with these, we'll have a quick run through of them. Some of them are newer titles. Some of them are 80s titles. It's getting to that point where the sort of genre this is into the newer stuff isn't particularly that good. There's some of it that's okay. 1 or 2 titles that do stand out. The first couple that we're gonna have a look at, and my cup of tea at all, but they are solely in the collection because my wife likes them. I wouldn't say they were particularly bad films. They're not bad films. They're just not really my cup of tea, and they was aimed at a younger audience as well, I think. But the first two, well, we'll look at the first one. First one in this franchise is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Not a bad film. It's okay. It is what it is. It's CG heavy. It looks okay. Storyline's okay. And again, for more of this kind of stuff, though, it's more Greek mythology than sword and sorcery. It's more definitely in the high fantasy category. Again, not particularly my cup of tea, but it's okay. You know what I mean? They are actually watchable. This is just a standard issue Blu-ray. There's no airs and graces about these. They just are what they are. And this one's that old that its actual digital copy is on a disc. So there was no downloadable copy, no downloadable code on these. You had to actually stick the disc in your computer and get the digital copy off it that way. I suppose at the time when this came out, it was bringing a genre film out to I suppose a right kind of age category. You know what I mean? I suppose it was showing them what could be done and what was done years ago. It's all right. It is what it is. It's like I say, I'd never go out my way to watch them. My wife likes them, but I'm not overly keen. But they just are what they are. So with that one, the next one goes straight on to Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters. I mean, this one is just absolute tosh. First one is okay. You know what I mean? It's all right. This one, I don't like this one at all. It tried to do more of the same as what the first one did. I just don't think it hit the mark. It was nowhere near as good. And that's not saying a lot for the first one. You know what I mean? I can understand what they're trying to do, and they're definitely aimed at a younger audience with it. But it isn't brilliant. That's the back of it. And again, these can be picked up for absolutely pennies now. Standard one of these. On these, they started throwing a download code on it, like that. I mean, if anyone wants to try any of these codes that I'll throw up here, you can try them by all means. If you want to pause this and have a look at them, try putting them in. I mean, according to the paper, they're out of date, but they might work on something. If you want to go at that one, you have a go at it. So there were the two Percy Jackson films. Again, they are what they are. Next one's, again, really down the same kind of route, same kind of line. I personally like them both. The two films that I can go back to and I can watch again. There's something about them that they're actually pretty good, even though they're CG heavy. I can go back and watch these. The no-brainer kind of films. You can put them on. You can have them on in the background. You can, you know what I mean. You don't really need to pay much attention with them. They just are what they are. That is Snow White and the Huntsman. Again, definitely on the high fantasy kind of side, more than the sword and sorcery kind of side. But I enjoy these for they are. They're not bad at all, and some really good actors in these as well. Again, can be picked up for absolutely next to nothing now. UK wise, these I would imagine your local CEX somewhere like that, they're about 50 pence a copy. They're for absolutely nothing, but they're worth having. They're worth having. They're just a straight Blu-ray, that one. Going again with the follow-on from Snow White and the Huntsman. It is just the Huntsman's Winter's War. Now, personally, I think this is better than the first one. This has just got a bit more substance to it. Doesn't try to play off that whole Snow White thing this anymore. It is what it is, and it's a film in its own right. I way much prefer this one than the other one. And there's a smaller cast in this as well, but the cast is really good. Sheridan Smith pops up in this, so if you're into UK TV, Sheridan Smith pops up. Rob Brydon pops up in this one as well. Nick Frost is back in this one. Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's like I said, for me personally, it's better than the first one. Don't get that much with extras on these. There's not a great deal on them. Again, if they work for anybody, there's another code. You can give that a whirl and try it if you want. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but by all means, you can try it. Again, just a standard Blu-ray, that one. Nothing really much. Nothing to write home about on these. After the first stream I did about this kind of stuff, we had a quick look at the Lord of the Rings set I've got. Hello, Dean. You okay? You all right? After we had a look at the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I never even thought about showing the Hobbit Trilogy. So you've got all three Hobbit films. Again, I preferred the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but these, again, are what they are. I mean, if you're a Tolkien fan, you'll know they dragged this trilogy like you won't believe. I mean, the Lord of the Rings, the book, is a really small book in comparison to the Lord of the Rings. But yeah, they managed to drag all this out into three films. So you got The Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, and the Battle of the Five Armies. Okay, you know what I mean? I do like them. And I think once the the fancy 4K sets come down, where you've got it's all 6 films in there on that 4K set. I probably will pick it up on 4K. It's what I suppose is one of them franchises that you need to see in its top sort of spec, really, because it's worth it. You know what I mean? It's definitely worth it. So they were the Hobbit films, and again, this is just stuff we can fire through quite quickly. So I can get a bit of better angle on that. Next one, it's the film I'm going to talk about off this is a film that I've been looking to try and get on a standalone for a while, and I cannot seem to pick one up in the wild. So this is a double film pack, and it is Ator, the Fighting Eagle. I mean, what can you say about Ator? It is what it is. It's a lot of nonsense, really. But it's one of those that stands out in the whole sword and sorcery kind of thing, the whole exploitation kind of stuff of these films that poured out off the back of Conan, because everybody wanted to jump in and everybody wanted a slice of the pie, so as it were, and a bit of the money that was going around off these kind of films. And Ator, the Fighting Eagle, was one of them. It's like I said, there is a standalone release of this in the UK on DVD, but I've never managed to be able to pick a copy up. But this version, for all you CX fans out there, this can be picked up for £1. So it's worth having in. But you also get a copy of Samson and Delilah on this. Samson and Delilah on this. The Samson and Delilah is like an old school epic. I want to say this film's from the late 50s, but I'm not actually sure. I've ever seen it once, and that was years and years ago. But if you to look at it, it's epic on the scale of it's up there with the way it looks and the castings of the films of like Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments and all that old Charlton Heston kind of stuff. Samson and Delilah's on the. It looks very similar, and it isn't a bad film. It is worth a watch. It's on for about 3 days, so you'd have to strap in and hold on for that one. You know what I mean? But it definitely is worth a watch. But if anybody is watching this can find a copy of Ator, the Fighting Eagle, that's on a standard edition, because we've never had a Blu-ray release of Ator in this country. I know there's a German media book that's kicking about. And possibly that's the way I may have to try and get Ator. Is on a German import and do it that way. But there's definitely no UK Blu-ray release of that. See who remembers those? That is an old flipper disc. So you've got 2 films on one disc, but instead of them being on the same side, so it doesn't compress, you've got a film on one side and a film on the other. You know what I mean? It's there just to serve a purpose for having Ator, really, or Ator, as it's sometimes pronounced. Next one is a really good film. Again, not really sword and sorcery at all. It's more high fantasy, medieval kind of stuff, but a really good film. And for years, this film in the UK was heavily edited. You couldn't get an unedited version of this film because it was deemed too graphic. And that is a Paul Verhoeven film with Rutger Hauer, and it is Flesh and Blood. This release has been put out by Eureka. All you boutique collectors out there know Eureka always do a really good job, and this is no exception. It looks really good. But this is the full uncut version, so everything's back in on this. which makes a better film for it. It's not an easy film to watch. It's quite hard and quite graphic in some places. But really good film. I mean, I'm a big fan of Rutger Hauer anyway. So just to have him in something else is fantastic. Well, especially this kind of genre is fantastic. Again, these releases always come with loads of extras on them. Get that in there. Anybody wants to pause it and have a look later on. Again, I think initially this one, it came out with a slip cover, but I picked this one up second hand and it had no slip on it. Not that I'm bothered about slips. I'm not at all, but it's dual format. So your Blu-rays there and your DVDs there. It's nice. It's got a bit of different art on it. So what's the special feature on this one? There we go. 1080p presentation for the first time on Blu-ray in the UK. What else have we got on here? Verhoeven versus Verhoeven, 45 minutes, a definitive documentary of the director Paul Verhoeven from 2016, covering his entire career. That's pretty cool. Never watched that on this yet, but that's definitely worth a watch. Interviews featuring the man himself, Paul Verhoeven in the flesh, 21-minute interview. Audio of interviews with Rutger Hauer, that's 24 minutes long. Interview with the screenwriter, 17 minutes long. Interview with the composer, 12 minutes long, and the original theatrical trailer. It says with its vision of a brutal and moralized medieval Europe, the film shocked audiences who had become used to highly romanticized deceptions of the era, commonly seen on the big screen. Occasionally censored in the UK due to its extreme amounts of sex and violence, Eureka Classics is proud to present flesh and blood, fully uncut and on Blu-ray and in special dual format edition. So it is definitely worth a pick up. Probably the best time to grab these is when Eureka sales on. Failing that, second-hand copy of this at the moment is about £12, I think. I think brand new they're about 18. I'm not sure if the one with the slip is still in print. If the slip's still in print, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, this one didn't have a slip, but definitely worth a watch. Like I said, quite brutal in places, but it is definitely worth a watch. Next one, I'm going to have to do a bit of hiding because the powers that be at YouTube will, I'm sure, the case if I do. And that is the Italian exploitation sword and sorcery kind of stuff from the Iron Master, 1983. This is an 88 film release. This bonkers film. That cover does no justice to the film whatsoever. Take it at face value that is not the film. Definitely worth a watch. It's up there. With some of the better Italian stuff that came out. And again, it's nice that 88 picked this one up. See, this is another thing as well. If 88 can pick this kind of stuff up, why couldn't they pick the other stuff up? It just blows my mind that a lot of this stuff just being ignored. Whether it has been looked into by some of these companies and it's just proving that it's too difficult to get hold of. Which one I paid top dollar for? I've not got to that one yet. When we get to it, you'll see why I paid top dollar for it. Or if you have a bit of a search for it, you'll understand why I paid top dollar. But that'll be the last one that I show, that one. But it's good that at least someone's picked something up of this. Again, this is because it's an 88 film. There's reversible art on these. The reverse art is pretty crap though. That's the original Iron Master VHS copy on that one, but I don't remember the bare-chested lady on the VHS release. I always remember being covered up, but for some reason on this one they've got her in the nip. Again, 88 do a decent job on these. It's like I say, it's got reverse artwork as well. Quick look, reverse art. That's reverse art. I mean, the reverse art is more in keeping with what the film is than the original art, but I do prefer the original art over the new 88 stuff that we put on this. Again, it's got a few extras. There's not a great deal on these the Italian collection stuff. I mean, on this one, it's a newly remastered, restored from the original camera negative. An interview with two directors, sleeve artwork, which I mean, currently in 88 films and HMV have a collaboration sale going on at the moment. Again, I'm showing that lady's busters, and I shouldn't be. 88 films and HMV have got a collaboration sale at the moment. And this one is in the 2 for £15. Pick it up, £7.50. It's worth it. You'll find something else to go along with it. There's probably about 30 titles in the 2 for £15 at the moment. But it's definitely worth picking up Iron Master. It's a decent enough film, decent enough watch. So that's that one. Next one we start. This is where we start getting into seriously some of my favourite stuff that I forgot to talk about last time, forgot to show you last time. This next one, I do not understand why this has not had a Blu-ray release in the UK. It's had a German release on Blu-ray and it's got a US release on Blu-ray, but there is absolutely no reason why this shouldn't get a Blu-ray release in the UK. And it is Antonio Banderas in The 13th Warrior. Exceptional film. Probably Banderas' best film, in my opinion. And he's done some good stuff. I mean, I like Desperado. I think Desperado is a good film. I think this just trumps it. Again, not sword and sorcery. Fantasy, Viking kind of film. Exceptional camera work in this, exceptional special effects. Storyline is brilliant. There's little bits in this film, point where he's learning a new language from listening to the Vikings talk. He's an excellent part of the film. The whole thing where you think it's a bit supernatural or the actual monsters attacking these Viking villages, and it turns out it's not. It's just sort of cannibalistic men. It's brilliant, and this is a film I can watch over and over and over again, and it just astounds me that this has no Blu-ray release. I mean, this is a touchstone film, and I don't understand what the issue is in the UK to get a Blu-ray out of this film. No idea, no concept why. And the sad thing for this DVD release is there's nothing on it. It's simply just the film. There's no extras. There's nothing, and it's a shame because it really is good. It's seriously that good of a film, and it's one of those I can go back to time and time again, and never get bored with it, and always see something a little bit different in it. And it's an exceptionally good film. It's got a great cast of actors in it as well. You really can't ask much more for films like this. From day one of this coming out, I mean, what year did it come out? This do you know what? I'm not sure. It doesn't actually say on the back of that. I always thought it was about 2006. I may be completely out of the. out the ballpark with that, but it doesn't actually say. No. But a fantastic film, and one of my all-time favourites, especially within this kind of genre. It's just brilliant. Banderas should have done more of this kind of stuff. I think he would have been far better for it. The films where he tends to do this kind of stuff, like this, like Desperado, like Hi Brilbix. Yeah, Master of the 80s. Master of the 80s, that's me. Master of the Universe. Yeah. We talked about it on the last live stream that I did. It's one of those films that, as a child, well, I said child, yeah, as a child, I saw and thought, "What the hell is this? This is not He-Man. This is terrible. It's just Dolph Lundgren. He-Man doesn't shoot guns." You know what I mean? But the older I've got, the more that I have sort of learned to appreciate it, and I really, really like it now. Again, it's never had a UK release. I mean, the version I've got of it, which is that, is a Scandinavian release. Because again, there is just no UK release of it, but it is a brilliant film. The hate of the new He-Man stuff that's come on to Netflix, I don't sort of understand. I don't understand all the bad press it was getting, because I watched those first 5 episodes and thought it was tremendous. Now I know there is another new adaptation of He-Man coming out that's aimed at a younger audience. Maybe that's the one that's due September 16th. Because the second part to Masters of the Universe is only due at end of the year, I think. Now the new one that is due onto Netflix looks promising. It looks very good, and I don't understand the haters hating on stuff like that. They obviously they don't know much what they're talking about if they're hating on stuff like that, because the original He-Man and the Massive Universe cartoon, if you go back to that now and you go back and watch that, it doesn't stand up well at all. It isn't that good. There's only nostalgia that keeps it going for me. Where the stories are written, and it isn't good. She-Ra was a far better cartoon than what He-Man was back in the day. And then you had the Abomination in the New Adventures of He-Man. So the people that hated on the new version of He-Man, the one that Kevin Smith's done, the Master of the Universe, have obviously never watched the New Adventures of He-Man, because that is piss poor. It's awful. And then you had He-Man, the 2000 edition, which is reasonably good. So all the haters, I think haters will always hate, won't they? You've got to give something a chance. And people disliking something after 5 episodes and not seeing the conclusion of it. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. You just go back to the original stuff that you liked and leave stuff. There's no point publicly thrashing it. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, you don't like it. Just don't watch it again. It's as simple as that. The Thundercats 2000. Well, the problem was with the Thundercat stuff. The 2 things that came off the back of that weren't particularly that good. I don't think they hit a generation of kids like Thundercats hit us. I think it's just a generational thing. Are kids even buying toys like that this day and age? I mean, only today I've been into a local Smith's toy shop to look for something, and those kind of toys aren't available anymore, like it was when I was young. So I think it's a different time, and you've got to look at it in a different way. Going back to this stack of films, next one again, absolutely love this. And again, I don't understand why there is no Blu-ray release of this in the UK. Now, I think I might be right in saying that this has a Blu-ray release in the US, but the only way you can get hold of it is if you're a Disney Club member, because I think this is a Disney Club exclusive. And it is Dragon Slayer. Brilliant film. I love everything about this film. It looks fantastic. It's practical effects, brilliant. Even the CGI effects at the end of the film still pretty much stand up. I mean, considering when this came out, it's one of those films that it's a Disney release, but it wasn't a sole Disney release. This was a 50-50 split with Paramount. I think it was Paramount that they did this with. Does it say? Yeah, Paramount. And you can tell it's not a true Disney film. Like you get as normal. There's a couple of these Disney films that stand out like this, and that are not truly Disneyfied. But I loved it for it. I love the sort of edginess for it, but the whole sort of practical effect in camera effects of the dragon later in the film. You get a little bit early in the film, but later in the film is just brilliant. And again, another one that really warrants a decent DVD or decent Blu-ray transfer of this. Again, see a lot of the Disney DVD stuff. You get quite a bit. There's absolutely no special features on that whatsoever. There's nothing, which is a shame, because I would imagine with it being a Paramount as well, there'd have been more to it. But there's a lot of these films that Disney just like to brush under the carpet. I mean, the other one, and again, this is another film that I particularly love. It's a Disney film. Is the Black Cauldron. Great film. Disney saw what was going on with the animated film of Lord of the Rings, and they thought they wanted a piece of that action because how good it looked. So they got that team in to start this film, to do this film. And then I think they got a little while through and Disney went to have a look at what they were doing, and they thought, oh my God, it's way too dark. It's going to frighten kids to death. We can't turn that out. So they took it out of their hands and then tried to finish it off with their own Disney team. And it works and it doesn't work at the same time. But I love it for what it is. It's a really, really good film. And luckily on this one, there is some extras on it. Extras being on that. There's some games and activities on it. There's some Disney shorts on there as well. There's some backstages and deleted scenes and still frame gallery. So you actually do get some stuff with that, and it is nice. It's a nice film. And again, it's one of those Disney films that just doesn't get talked about enough. And again, I think it's another one that this may have had a Blu-ray release in the US, but it was through, you had to be a Disney Club member to get your hands on it. I'm sure there is. But so we've never a chance of seeing either of those two films get a Blu-ray release in this country. But the DVDs will do for me fine. Now, we're going down the road now of more expensive stuff. Now, So I've been neglecting the chat. There's been a few coming through as well. I've heard many claims that Thundercats, He-Man, She-Ra, and the Real Ghostbusters were better written than Transformers, G1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles '87. I wouldn't necessarily say that He-Man was well written. I mean, like I said before, He-Man's pretty poorly written. It isn't that good. She-Ra was a lot better than what He-Man was. Real Ghostbusters is fantastically written. Thundercats has its moments. G1 Transformers is okay. You know what I mean? It's not badly written. And Turtles was Turtles. You know what I mean? I suppose it was of the time. NJ Cafe. That's a new name to the stream. Hello there, NJ Cafe. You're okay. Me and my friend, Butt to Butt RN. My butt is a Black Cauldron. Okay. That's completely made me lose my train of thought now. More expensive titles in my collection now. These ones have took some tracking down. One in particular. First one that we'll have a look at is a Roger Corman production or Roger Corman Presents kind of film. The Roger Corman stuff, for anybody out there that's into Roger Corman films, which I am, and he did a lot of extremely shit stuff that was also extremely good. Low budget, low end, sci-fi and fancy kind of films. And I lapped the stuff up when I was younger. Some of it holds up, some of it not so much. Next one we'll have a look at doesn't particularly hold up that well, but it's one that I wanted from the collection. And that is Barbarian Queen. Anyone that knows this film, anyone that's seen this film, will know that there's a lot of flesh being shown in it. There's a hell of a lot of boobs. Basically, the first 30 seconds, I think you see at least 3 pairs of boobs in this. So the opening of the film, first 20 minutes, first half an hour, isn't particularly that good. It's like it's as though it's been filmed in someone's back garden, because every camera shot and camera angle is really tight and really close in, so you can't get any kind of scope of the distance of what's going on in the background. Everything's shot tight to the camera, so you know that there was a budget there, and they just couldn't film the scale of what was going on, especially for one of these kind of films. So you'll watch it and then you'll either skip out of it and you'll stop it there, or you'll carry on. And what I can say is this film, just carry on with it, just give it time. The second half of the film gets way better, way better, and it's like someone's thrown a cash injection in it. Whereas before, first half of the film, you know what I mean, you may see 3 people on screen at one time, but it's generally 1s and 2s. At the end of this, there's massive scenes at the end with loads of actors in. So it's an odd film. It's an odd film. I think it tried its best to entice people in with a lot of cleavage and a lot of busters on show. More than any sort of sword and sorcerer. But it's a high fantasy film. And you won't even really call them barbarians. And you really wouldn't even really call her a queen. It mean that the front of that, though, the artwork on that is fantastic. And if that didn't draw you in back in the VHS days, I don't know what wouldn't. really weird this, because if you read the back of the box, and then if you go to Wikipedia or IMDb, whatever, everything you read is different. So the back of this box, it says, set during the days of the Roman Empire. Well, it's not set during the days of the Roman Empire at all. So I don't know how they got that on the back of there. A simple village is raided by Roman troops. Now, it is raided by troops, but they aren't Roman troops. And most of the people are whisked off to be slaves or killed. Well, again, most people are killed in the first 10 minutes. And the ones that are taken as slaves, there's only 2 of them. And then the other ones escape to try and free them. It says 3 women survive and set off to liberate their people. Well, they're liberating about 3 of them. And when they arrive at the Roman city, again, not a Roman city, they team up with the local underground resistance to seek vengeance and liberation of the slaves. Well, at no point really do you see any slaves in this. All you see is gladiators, well, so-called gladiators, but they're not really gladiators. So they're going for this whole Roman thing. But then if you look at it on Wikipedia, their own Wikipedia page, and if you go to IMDb, they're telling you it's set around the Iron Age, which, if that's right, you can sort of get your head around that. It's Iron Age kind of film. There is a second one to this, Barbarian Queen 2. Whereas I think Lorna Clarkson's in that one as well. And Lorna Clarkson takes a decent part in this. Another thing with this, with it being a Roger Corman film, the music that's used in this does not go with the film in any way, shape or form. It sounds like the music out of this had been used in a Roger Corman sci-fi film. The two just don't go together. It's a really, really odd pairing. The soundtrack, and it's not a bad soundtrack. The soundtrack is really good. Does not go at all with this film. Now, knowing Corman, it's probably ripped out of a sci-fi film that he's done, or a low-budget horror, and then just put over the top of this. The other thing with this as well is the overdub. This film was an American-Argentinian sort of crossover. So there was Argentinian actors in this as well as American actors. So the overdub's awful. Some of it where the dubbing goes over on the Argentinian actors it's laughable. It's that bad and that loud. It's way too high. The conversation doesn't seem real. It's another one where you get overdubbing where people's mouths aren't moving earlier on in the film. Latter part of the film, like I say, is exceptionally good. Brilbrick, someone has uploaded Barbarian Queen on YouTube last month and it hasn't been copyrighted. Oh, cool! If it's up on YouTube, go and check it out. Because, like I said, this thing's a bit more pricey than what it really deserves at the moment. It's in the £12 to £15 mark second hand if you can find it. This is seriously out of print on DVD over here now. Doesn't show you on the back, but there is some extras on this as well. There's a couple of trailers and there's like a cast and crew inside where you can see some of the other films that they've been in, other films that they've worked on. Prison Leisure released this one. Anyone that knows me and follows my channel knows that I love what Prison Leisure did. When they started bringing out disc art, it's always very good. You always get a really good quality clear AMRAY case. You always get your chapter selection in there. Sometimes you get some art under the disc. I don't think there's any on this one. No, there's not. There's just some flames under it. The transfer that's on there isn't particularly that good. Looking at it, I would say it's come off the VHS. It is a bit grainy in places. There's a couple of points where you can see that the films had damage to it. You get a big line down it. And you see, it's only in 4:3 as well. It's not in widescreen, so aspect ratio 4.3. It's watchable and it's okay, but it just looks like a straight VHS port. No, I definitely know there is a German steelbook release of this. No, it's not a steelbook, sorry, it's a media book, a German media book available of this. And you get a Blu-ray and DVD combo in that. No, that is widescreen, so I would imagine he's had some kind of transfer. What it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't mind picking a copy up, to be fair. But I like these Prism Leisure releases. I think there was always good quality for the money. So that was Barbarian Queen. Right. It's time for the big hitter, and I've hunted this film down for a long while, and it was a limited run as well. I think there was only 1,500 copies of these worldwide that came out, and I managed to snag a copy. This has cost me. It's probably more than I've ever paid for a second-hand DVD, but it's in mint condition. It's got everything with it, and the film is phenomenally good. It's a really, really good, really good swords and sorcery film. Nice Hundra. This is beautiful, beautiful release. Hello there, Crushers. How's it going? Are we okay? I hope all's well. Yeah, so this is the copy of 100 that I've picked up. Now, obviously, me being in the UK, this is never had a release in the UK. For all intents and purposes, I don't think there's even a VHS release of this in the UK. Not that I've ever come across it. So this is a Region 1. This is an American import. The reason that this is a limited edition, again, I'm sure it's 1,500. Yeah, 1,500. Was put out by a company called Subversive. They've done a few different things, but probably this is the best thing that they've put out. It is a thing of beauty. The film transfer itself looks really, really good. It's a widescreen version of the film as well. It's one of those films that stands up head and shoulders in the genre. I think for the simple reason that obviously this is Hundra on the front. I mean, she's absolutely badass in this film. Now, we had Bridget Nielsen play Red Sonja, and I like Red Sonja. Red Sonja's a great film, but I don't think Bridget Nielsen ever got the sort of thing that she was deserved. Whereas Hundra, she's a badass in it, and everything about the character tells you she doesn't need any help. You know what I mean? Nothing away from Red Sonja. She's got a party in that film, but this is just superb. Okay, so I can put this up for you, Crushers, not a problem. We can show that. There we go. So Crushers just put something on that says, "Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Take a look at my channel as I have a few movie collection videos. Great channel, by the way. Been watching for a few weeks now." Well, thank you very much. Much appreciated. We try and keep it quite friendly here. We don't go in for anything big or bold on this channel. We just talk about things like it is. How much for 100, Dean? Oh, no. Well, bear in mind, 1,500 copies of this. and I will show you what you get. So with this release of 100, there was a comic. So we'll have a quick look. I can't show you this comic all the way through because there's a lot of nudity in it, and I think YouTube would just strike me straight away. But I can show you that first page, I suppose. Yep, that one's okay to show you. So you get a nice little comic in it, which is a bit of the, if you've watched the film and you know the end of the film, the comic just goes on that little bit further, just to give you a little bit of the story at the end. And I'd like to say there's what in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-page comic with it. You get the film. She's there. She's a DVD. And you also get the original soundtrack on DVD, which is a rarity. You don't find that much. I love it when films do that. But there's a reason that you get that soundtrack, and there's a reason why this goes for as much as it does, because that's the only way you can get that soundtrack. And that soundtrack was done by Ennio Morricone. So for all you Western fans out there, if you like Fistful of Dollars, a few dollars more, Good, Bad, the Ugly, he did all the soundtracks for that kind of stuff. And he did the soundtrack for 100, and it is fantastic. So special features on this is a brand new anamorphic widescreen transfer. So that's 235:1. Full length commentary with director Matt Simba. And the star of the film, Lauren Landon. Making of featurette, cast and crew bios, original comic book, which I've showed you, and then bonus soundtrack CD from Ennio Morricone, from the original score. This thing is like hen's teeth to find because of all those things. It's really difficult. I do not think there is a Blu-ray edition of this film anywhere. I don't think it's ever been brought out on Blu-ray, not to my knowledge anyway. If anyone does know that this is at a Blu-ray release, drop some links in that comment box, and I will go and have a look. But as far as I know, there is no Blu-ray release. So Dean, you're asking how much for a second-hand copy of 100? 35 quid. It's probably one of the more. It's worth every penny because you don't find it, and it's a great ruselease, a great title to have in my collection in my library. It's a brilliant film. Crusher says a lot of the sword and sorcery movies do have women with nothing much on. Yeah, I mean exactly. I mean, like it's like I said, just Barbarian Queen. It really is just boobs. You know what I mean? It's 70 minutes of boobs. But I love B movies like this. Women in prison stuff. Yeah, I mean women in prison stuff. There's a couple of films on the Prism Leisure release on the line in the UK, and for the life of me, I can't think what they are now. But yeah, it's all that sort of like exploitation stuff like that. It's like it. Does Janina know I paid £35 for it? Janine doesn't know I paid £35 for it. It come out as Tony's secret money. So, and Janine doesn't watch these, so it doesn't matter. No, my missus don't know I paid £35 for this. It's worth every penny because you don't find it, and stuff like this will only ever hold its value. It'll never go down, so you never got to really lose out anything on it. But it's a lovely addition to have in my collection. The going back to what Crusher was saying, the one film that I am missing out of that Prison Leisure line is, bear with me, I don't think it's in there. It's the Arena. Let me see if I can find it. Another one really that was it was an all-female cast. Let's do this old school on my phone. And I might be able to find out what that other film was called. Crusher. Okay, so there's two in that line that I am missing. One is the Arena, which was, that's the one with Pam Grier, yeah. 1974. They play sort of like Roman gladiators, or whatever the equivalent female word is for gladiator. But yeah, another one, shoestring budget, low end B movie stuff, but anything with Pam Grier in is always worth a watch. So that one's available. That one is on. That's a Prism Leisure release as well. It generally goes for about a £5, I think. But I've never been able to pick one up in the wild. I've never come across one. And then the other one, which is not really sword and sorcery. It's weird. It's like apocalyptic sort of throwback kind of film, and that's with David Carradine in it, which is with my mind goes terrible. Oh, can't find it now. I'm looking for it. That's the one, Death Sport. Another sort of weird high fantasy, sci-fi, apocalyptic kind of film. So they're the two that I'm missing off. Yeah, I mean, at one time, Crusher, stuff like this was coming through charity shops, second-hand shops, even pound shops, like you're saying. All this kind of stuff was coming through at one point. Now it's just few and far between. Like you said, you don't find it anymore. And the biggest problem with a lot of it is a lot of that stuff that we've looked at, and especially this kind of stuff. I mean, and I've loads of stuff that in the Prism Leisure line like this isn't really. There's nothing to it. There's you know what I mean. It's not as though they've had uprated transfers. It's not as though they've been put into widescreen, anything like that. They've not. But the problem is now nostalgia taxes just try to charge you top dollar for everything. I mean, them Prism Leisure titles, when they used to come out, there was about £6 each new back in the day. And you've got people just constantly trying to charge you top whack for everything. And all I've started doing recently is if I see stuff like this on eBay, telling people. So as much as I want to buy it, I am not pulling the trigger on that at 20 quid. So there was a couple on eBay. They wanted £20 each from. So no, I'm not giving you £12, £20. So what I tend to do, I take the link from CEX. Currently, I think this is selling in CEX for about a tenner. And I'll send them the link, and I'll say, right, okay, your copy looks really, really good. You don't know what you're getting from CEX. That's the biggest problem. I'll give you a couple of pound more than what CEX is offering. So I'll give you £12, and £12 is the maximum you're going to get off me. Because in all fairness, how often is that going to sell on eBay? Unless you're someone like me. And how many people like me are there? There's not that many that's into this kind of stuff. So if you're going to try and sell this for £20, it's going to sit there forevermore. You know what I mean? 12 quid's better than nothing, because if you've had this from new, you paid £6 for it. So in theory, it's only worth £6. But this is the times and this is the world we're living. Yeah, 101 Films. If you go back to some of my other videos, you'll see that I'm a big supporter of what 101 do. 101 is a fantastic label here in the UK. They give you a bit of everything, and everything that they do is 99% of the time very good. Yeah, I mean, 101 Films, Blu-ray collections is good for everything. Yeah, from a £5 second hand. Yeah, I mean, Crusher. I've had stuff for less than that second hand. I've had some stuff off eBay. I mean, obviously, it's not sword and sorcery related, but the last few ones I got off eBay, stuff like dolls. I got that for £2, free postage and packaging. You know what I mean? Even when they come on sale on 101 site, the £7, £6 at the minimum. But the sort of the sword and sorcery stuff that 101 put out. I mean, the stuff, both Hercules films, the 101 releases. You know what I mean? They're really good. We talked about them in my last live stream about this kind of stuff. They're exceptional. And the good stuff with this, the good thing with 101 is you always know what you're going to get, because 101 does none of its own transfers. So the transfers are on sub-license from other companies. So both of those, Hercules and Hercules 2, Legends of Hercules, they are both Shout Factory titles. So Shout Factory did the transfers on those, and then 101 take them on license, and they are relatively cheap. All that cult collection is relatively cheap. And then they also did one of the Sinbad films with Lou Ferrigno, as well as on the 101. And then recently they put Headhunter out. I mean, Headhunter's bloody brilliant. It's a great film. And for 101 to pick this title up is fantastic. I mean, this could have just gone on to a standard Blu-ray and could have just faded off into obscurity over time, but it didn't do. 101 picked this up, put it out, and did it for £9 brand new. It's fantastic. It's a great little film. If you're into the whole sword and sorcery kind of thing, high fantasy stuff, it's nice. More companies should be turning this kind of stuff out. A lot more. And like we chatted about on my last live stream with this kind of stuff, I don't understand why no one's doing it. Why no one's really looking into turning these kind of titles out? Because there's a market for them. There's got to be a market for them. You know what I mean? It's one of those genres that people love, no matter how bad the film is. And there is some absolute stinkers out there. You know what I mean? You've only got to look at Ator or Deathstalker 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean? Them three films, Deathstalker 2, Deathstalker 3, Deathstalker 4, are just awful. But there's still a market for it. And to get something like that on Blu-ray, and if there was a company, boutique-wise, that would turn these out, you know what I mean? They don't even have to do big runs of them. Limit them to 3,000, you know what I mean? Limit them to 1,500, they'd still sell. And you know what I mean? It's... Yeah, I mean, I had my bugbear with 88 films. and I'll show you what it is quick, because obviously I think you didn't come into the stream before I showed it. I don't think. It's like Iron Master. Iron Master's an 88 film. It's in the Italian collection, which that's great. But 88 has too much going on, way too much going on. And then you've got all these. So that's an 88 film. Dr. Mordred, brilliant film. But that looks different on the spine again. Don't even get me started with a Slasher Classics collection, because when I buy them, I have to take them out the red case, because that red case just pisses me off, that 10mm red case. And I put them into a standard blue armory. I get what they're doing. They're keeping the cost down, but they're all over the show. And then anything with a slip, and this is Mystery Men. It's all, as a collector, you look at the sort of some of the Arrow titles I've got, they all sit really nice. Some of the Eureka titles I've got, they sit really nice. Some of the Power Rangers Indicator I've got, they sit really nice. You look at the 101 stuff, it all sits really nice. Okay, Dean, I'll see you later. 88 film stuff, it's all over the shop, and it just irritates me massively. And I like what they do, but they really need just to keep it looking a bit more uniformed, because it's all over the show. And the whole slip box thing, I am not a big slip box fan. I don't collect that much with slip boxes. So they don't, men, whether they just look like that. Yeah, it's just way more for me than a piece of cardboard over the top of it. It doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? I don't understand why people wet their pants so much over it all. But yeah, 88. I can't think of any other sort of high fantasy sword and sorcery kind of stuff that that 88 have turned out, apart from Iron Warrior. Well, I looked at the Van Damme range, and I was put off by some of their early titles. Hello, Vaderdrome. How's it going? You okay? I was put off by some of the 88's early titles of the Van Damme stuff. It was real sort of the trashy side of Van Damme that they started off with. I understand they're probably starting off with the lesser films and working the way up to the better stuff. I get that. But it wasn't going to make me dip my hand in my pocket. Films like Knockoff and stuff like that, no. The Replicant, no chance. I mean, The Replicant's not even been out that long, and it's now appeared in the 2 for £15 in the HMV sale. So they obviously it's not sold that well, but they're trying to get rid of it that way. Legionnaire was okay. I didn't mind Legionnaire being brought out in that one. But the thing is, when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I can pick a Van Damme collection up like that. So 101, put AWOL, Black Eagle, and Death Warrant out on a nice little 3-disc set. For a tenner, then I'll do that all day long. The only one that I have recently done in the Van Damme stuff is up there with that other 88 stuff. Is Cyborg, just because I'm Cannon films obsessed, and it was one of the better Cannon films, and a Van Damme film, one of the better Van Damme films as well. Cyborg's a fantastic film, and then when it comes down to like Bloodsport and Kickboxer, stuff like that, I'll be all in for that. The really weird one is in the UK on Monday. Yeah, tomorrow. No Retreat, No Surrender gets a Blu-ray release, just a standard Blu-ray release for $7.99. Now, I'm surprised none of the boutiques have picked that up. I'm really surprised that 88 Films have not tried to get hold of that one. It's odd. They've let a film like that go. Even Black Eagle, you know what I mean? He probably takes more of a part in No Retreat, No Surrender than what he does in Black Eagle. I mean, Black Eagle, he's like what? Second henchman to the main guy. He's not even he's the main guy in it. Yeah, well, I've ordered a copy of No Retreat, No Surrender. A friend of mine works in HMV in the town where I live, so he's put me a copy to one side. And for £7.99, £8, it's definitely one that you've got to have. And like I said, if you go into my other videos on this channel, I'm just a complete 80s nut. So all this stuff along here is just all 80s Blu-ray. Same with all the Arrow video stuff and the Eureka stuff up here. It's all 80s related. That's one thing you'll find about me and you'll find on this channel is I only collect things that I like. I won't buy for buying's sake, and I definitely don't blind buy. That way, I've always got money to spend on the things that I actually need over things that I'm blind buying on that might cost me 15, 20 quid and then be watching it and not liking it. Cool. So No Retreat, No Surrender was a Kino Lorber release, was it, Murdered? Cool. See that Kino, the stuff that Kino releases is exceptional. There's some great sword and sorcery films on Kino. Barbarians, the Barbarians is on Kino. Sorceress is on Kino, but I think that's out of print now, the Blu-ray version. The DVD version is still available. If I'm going to import anything to finish this collection off of mine, the sword and sorcery collection, then they're the ones that I'm going to have to bring in. Need the other two. My glasses back on. Stupidly trying to read them without glasses. So No Retreat, No Surrender came in 2017. Christ, if it's that transfer that they're using on this release that's coming out over here, it's an old transfer of it. Just again, I don't know why no one's not picked it up. It's a bit odd. Which other movies are those, Crusher? Need two other movies in that collection. Which collections are in the Van Damme collection? The 88 Films Van Damme collection. Is that what we're talking about? But like I said, that's basically it up to now for me. Me sword and sorcery kind of stuff. I could probably dig another live stream out in a couple of weeks about this kind of stuff, because I tend to find it works quite well live streaming this kind of stuff than me trying to do videos, just do standard videos about it. I mean, the sword and sorcery stuff doesn't generally stop at film. I mean, cartoon wise, there's a lot of stuff that could fall into that category. You know what I mean? Whether it be that box set of Dungeons and Dragons, which is a truly amazing set. I mean, it looks, the damn thing is beautiful. Presto on that, it looks great. So, I mean, all those sword and sorcery things can cross over into Lords. The full collection of He-Man. all 168 episodes. Plus, I think there's 2 films and a documentary on there. Oh, sorry, No Retreat, No Surrender 2 and 3. Yeah, I mean, again, you just have to be a DVD thing over here. That for me, it's no chance of Blu-rays of them. She-Ra, Volume 1 and 2. Nice little collections, and again, She-Ra was the better show. Is there a complete collection of No Retreat, No Surrender then, Crusher? There we go. Conan the Adventurer, Season 1. Some bizarre reason in the UK, we never got Season 2. Don't know why. But that's a great little show. It's definitely worth a watch. Disca of Season 1. There is another Conan cartoon as well, and I'm lost with what it was actually called. Conan the Adventurer and Conan. I can't think what it's called. But that's a really good show. It's an early 90s show. So, you know what I mean? I think it's at some point or another, people will have watched films like this. People will watch those cartoons. And unless you're like me or other people that's in the chat now, people forget about stuff like this. But I think if a major company or a boutique labels to pick this up and run with it and start looking at these films for what they were and what they are, they'd have no problem selling this kind of stuff. It would be easy for them. But bizarrely, no one's even looking at it. It's odd. It really is odd. Yeah, it's only on DVD. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, He-Man and She-Ra are fantastic. Again, just absolute nostalgia stuff for me. I mean, I was born in '77, so I was slap banging the whole He-Man and She-Ra stuff. And again, and I'll keep saying it, She-Ra's the better show. She-Ra's by far the better show than what He-Man was. It's better written. Animation's better. It's a bit better. I can see myself now. It's just one of them. And we talked about it a little bit earlier on about people hating on the new He-Man show, on the new Masters of the Universe show that's on Netflix at the moment. And I don't get my head around it. If you're my age, you'd have been chomping at the bit to see something new in the Motu universe. But some people have just hated it from the minute they've clapped eyes on it, and I don't understand why. And Kevin Smith took a lot of flack for it, and again, I don't understand why. It's weird. To me, he's not done anything wrong with the franchise. Yeah, it is different, and I think it's good that it is different. You know what I mean? Because if it had been more of the same, it'd have been more of the same, and it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have made any difference. What it has got people doing is talking about it. You know what I mean? If it hadn't been so different, I don't think people would have talked about it half as much as what they have done. You know what I mean? The new He-Man show, Master Universe show, that's going to start in September, the one that's more aimed at kids and younger teens. Is anyone going to talk about that? I don't really know. I want to thought so. But this, because it was aimed at me, it was aimed at this audience. It just got a lot of haters, and I don't understand why. I don't understand the people. See, everybody I know that's my age or that little bit older that grew up with Master of the Universe, grew up with He-Man and She-Ra, and have watched the new Master of the Universe, the first 5 episodes of it, have absolutely loved it. It seems to be everyone that's latched on in later life that's younger and wasn't around when He-Man first came out just seem to hate it, and I don't grasp it. I don't get it. Visually, it looks brilliant. The story, well, the cast that they got of voice actors is second to none. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. I mean, Tony Todd as Skurglow is fantastic. So I don't really know. I mean, a lot of these people can't have watched any of the original He-Man stuff, and they could definitely never watch the new Adventures of He-Man because that's shit. He-Man 2000's okay. It's yeah, like I just said, yeah. The new Adventures of He-Man. Was that, I can't think when that came out. Was that 89, 1991? Something around that time it came out. It's awful. It's absolutely terrible. And has nothing to do with He-Man in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, you don't hear any of these so-called fanboys crying about that. Just crying about what Kevin Smith's done, and I really don't understand why. I don't think he's done any misjustice to it at all. And I can only wait for the next 5 episodes to come out. It looks brilliant, you know what I mean, in 4K. If you've been watching it on a 4K TV and you've got a good internet connection, it looks fantastic. The art design's very good on it. I mean, even the other She-Ra show that Netflix did, and I enjoyed that. The art design isn't for me. The whole show isn't probably aimed at me. It's probably aimed at younger kids to get them into that particular lore of cartoon, but it was still good at what it did. It's just not for me. So I don't kick and scream about it. I don't cry about it. If it's not for me and I've watched it, I won't go back to it. I'll just go back and watch the original She-Ra. And I can't understand what these people's issues is. They're kicking off Master of the Universe. If you don't like it, don't watch it again. Go back to the original stuff. It doesn't make any difference to anybody. You're ranting and raving on the internet about it. They've still watched it. Netflix has still made the money out of it. Everyone's still got paid. So it's not as though it's made any difference whatsoever. My favourite sword and sorcery movie, I shall show you. This is my favourite, not only my favourite sword and sorcery movie, but is probably, and I would say definitively, my favourite film of all time. I know it's weird. It really is weird for me to say that. But it's Hawksley. I truly love this. This is just a thing of beauty. It was a labour of love. It's unreal. It's B-movie cheesiness. It's the who's who of British thespian actors of the time. You've got all these British actors where they brought 2 Americans in to play the good guy and the bad guy because they obviously couldn't find a leading man or a bad guy. So they brought John Terry in to play Hawk. It's truly a brilliant film. And this version that Network put out, if you've never seen this film, I suggest picking it up, because this version that Network put out is phenomenal. How good it looks. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's dead cheap. Do it. Look it up. You'll see that my screensaver at the back of me at the moment, Hawk the Slayer. I can bang on about the film for hours on end. It justly got its place in cult movie status. And it's in B movie status for it. It is brilliant. It's practical effects, the in-camera effects, cheap, they're lazy, but they're brilliant. It's just superb. And the sword in this is probably one of the best swords that's ever been in a sword and sorcery film or high fantasy film. Conan's sword's lovely. There's lots of nice swords, but there's no sword like the Mind Sword. That sword in this film is huge. It's massive. You couldn't wield it in battle even if you were built like Ernie. It's unreal, but it's brilliant. Check it out. If you've never seen it, check it out. Don't you get it on any streaming sites? I wouldn't have thought that it's up on anything streaming. HMV in the UK, Stock Network. Network have their own website as well. So if you quick Google search, will put you onto them. This could be bought for £9, and it's worth every penny. It really is brilliant. There's quite a lot of special features on it as well. It's worth it all day long. That's the inside of it. And it's like I say, I've been over this stuff time and time again on this channel because I truly do love it. It's great. The Conan movies, yeah. I mean, I've got all those as well. I'm surprised that no one has managed to pick up Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Destroyer for a boutique company. It's really, really weird. Could only be licensing issues, rights issues. That's all it can be. But it's odd. It really is odd that no one's picked it up. Because there's so much to choose from in this genre that I'm surprised that any of these boutique companies have not jumped all over it. You know what I mean? If some of the weird martial arts stuff from the sort of 70s is going to sell, then this stuff would sell 10 times over. Surely the high fantasy sword and sorcery stuff would sell far better than what some of this sort of martial arts stuff does. But yet they seem to love the martial arts stuff and the obscure westerns. Hell of a lot of obscure westerns been put out. Trying to think who put the last lot out. I know 8 have done some. Who else turned some? There was another boutique company that puts a lot of westerns. It might be Arrow. I think Arrow might put a lot of weird boutique westerns out. But I mean, Canon Films is a backbone of this channel, really. Everything about Canon for me reminds me of seeing films when I was younger, and pretty much loved everything they did. There's some things that are forgotten by Canon that deserve loads of love. There's a good book out, like a compendium of Canon now, and I think he's about a third of the way through. I think there's 2 more, but it's a company. A lot of these companies are bathing in nostalgia for me, and you'll see them on this channel loads and time again. Canon being one, Orion being a massive of another one. They just played a part in the films that I watched when I was younger. It's a big thing of mine. A lot of these films here will be Orion or Canon. Any new titles, Overdub? Yeah, like I said, the stuff that I've just been showing. So, like I said, Iron Master. I picked Iron Master up recently. That was in the 2 for 15 sale in HMV. $52 pickup. Never seen it. I've never seen it. And then the big one for me, Overdub, was a big splash of cash on the limited edition 100. Again, a thing of beauty. Looks fantastic. And again, I've managed to snag a copy of Barbarian Queen. I think that's pretty much it. So we are now about the same length of time as I did on the last one. I've probably got to call it a day now, guys. Barbarian Queen is okay. It's a Roger Corman B movie. A lot of flesh in it, a lot of boobs, not much sword. First half of the film's shite. Second half of the film's very good. 100 is unbelievable and an excellent film and doesn't get the hype half the way as much as what it deserves. And Iron Master is just a weird Italian exploitation film on the genre. But it's okay. It's pretty good. The guy from Jaws is in it. It's a Canon film. Which guy from Jaws? I've got Jaws though. Jaws is up there. Robert Schneider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, one of them. No, you're welcome. You're welcome, Overdub. That's what it's all about, mate, isn't it? You know what I mean? If I can pass some other stuff on. If you're looking for anything else, like me and Chris was talking about before, from that Roger Corman kind of stuff, a film called The Arena, have a look for that, with Pam Grier. Deathstalker 2 to a push. Deathstalker 3 and 4, no, don't bother with it, save your money. There's loads and loads. Before we go, I always like doing this. yeah, Fantastic Four from '94. Yeah. I always like to give a bit of a shout out to a few other channels. There's a couple of those guys on here that have stuck together and helped each other out, and slowly but surely it's working, and we're getting subscriber numbers. And I know it's not all about subscriber numbers, and I know it's not all about how many people you get viewing your content. For me, to get what I get out of this kind of thing is a sense of community out of it, and then people helping each other out. And up to now, it's been truly brilliant for it. So I'll always give a shout out to other channels, to people. Go and check them out, have a look at what their stuff that they do. And again, I'll put some I'll put some links in the descriptions on this. So again, one from last time is a guy called Alan over at Pop's Movie Dungeon. Go and check Alan out. He's got a lovely setup. He has a beautiful movie room as well, and he's got a great Screen Factory collection over there. He's got a hell of a lot. Good friend of mine, Johnny Walker, the original horror guru. If you're into your old school horror, then he's the man to go and see. Check his channel out. Again, it's very similar to mine. No airs and graces. We just chat like this. Videos go on for hours. You know what I mean? We're not trying to make money out of this. We're not trying to do anything. We've just found some good friends out of it, and we just talk information about stuff and nonsense. And if we can pass somebody onto the right lines of stuff they're looking for, then we're always happy to help. So that's Johnny Walker's channel. Great guy as well. And then the next channel that I'm going to put on here is the channel is called Pure Hangout. Great little channel. Guy runs it from a room similar kind of mine. He does movie ratings and things like that. He's been commenting backwards and forwards with me for the last couple of weeks, which is nice to see people engaging. That's what it's all about, isn't it, at the end of the day. So again, I'll throw some links down below. And again, if you're a horror collector and if you're into horror stuff, there's another guy on here called Goraphobe. Again, I'll put a link down in the description. Go and check out his channel. He's just starting up. He's trying to do something different over there, which is good. That's what it's all about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's always nice chatting with people on these live streams. I've got more videos that's going to be uploaded soon. I'm going to do some sort of in-depth stuff where once before I looked at all my Ernie films from 80 to 89. I'm going to do the same again. We're going to have a look at all my Van Damme stuff. So the Van Damme stuff that I've got in. We're going to have a look at my sci-fi collection, because I'm into sci-fi stuff as well, from sort of 80 to 89. And we'll look at other stuff. This collection up behind me here, that's only three away from being complete. So once that's complete, we'll have a look at that. So there's all kinds going on this channel. So keep your eyes open, guys. If you've not done already, please give us a subscribe. It's always nice. Like I said, it's not about the subscribers, but it's always nice to know people like what we're doing and want to come back to view some stuff. So again, thank you very much. Have a good Sunday evening, everybody, or Sunday afternoon if you're in the States. And we'll see you all soon. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.